But it's distressing to me that in a county where water is a major issue, where we are not sure about where we're going to get the resources necessary to provide for the people who live here and future generations, that we would look at drilling techniques that involves millions of gallons of water that will be pumped into the ground with unknown mix of chemicals. These drilling companies have been very clear that they have secret sauces, mixtures that they need to use in order to get the oil out of the ground. It's just amazing to me that toxic chemicals can be pumped into the ground anywhere in this country and that you don't have to tell people what's actually in it. That to me is very disturbing. From the research that we do know that's out there, Cornell University actually reviewed hundreds of oil reports, well reports, over a period of 3 years. And they determined that on average 6 to 7% of all the wells leaked. Now, if you're in a place like Santa Cruz, which does not import water, and which a good part of the county actually gets their water from under the ground, you can't have a 6% leakage rate and expect us to be a healthy community and one that's going to be able to provide a vital resource into the future. It just doesn't stand the straight face test. You know, I believe that a lot of ways that our county does practice the precautionary principle in many different ways when we look at future development. This, to me, seems an excellent opportunity to consider the impact of the decisions we make now and how it will affect future generations. Today in the paper, representatives of the oil industry criticized our attempts to look at putting this moratorium into place, because he said that just means more dependency on foreign oil and more oil tankers. Now, that's a common argument that we hear from the oil industry. In fact, that was the same argument they used in the early 80s when offshore oil was being considered here in Santa Cruz County and up and down the California coast. Since then, oil exports from our country have grown by 600%. So if the oil companies were good American companies that cared about breaking the dependency on foreign oil, there's something that could be done about that instead of increasing their exports to other countries. I think it was mentioned earlier, it's clearly about the money, and the only reason we're looking at fracking is because they figured out a way to do it cheaply. And the only way oil companies can do it cheaply is they externalize the cost. So when there's environmental pollution, we have to pay for that. They don't have to pay for that. So with the Monterey Shale now being into play, Santa Cruz may not be a big part of it, but we should lead the way in saying a practice like this has no place in our county. The people of Santa Cruz strongly support that, and hopefully we can be a beacon for other communities to start looking at this. I know the Los Angeles City Council has an item before them that they will be considering in the next couple of weeks, talking about banning it within Los Angeles. So there is a movement afoot, and if the state legislature isn't going to accept their responsibility, local communities like ours will take the lead.